Hi guys, welcome to your next YouTube challenge. For this whole year we have been studying different types of sentences. So we know that a simple sentence is just one idea. It's one thought that can stand all by itself. It doesn't need anything else. It passes the psst test, like psst, I like pizza, or psst, the Astros won the World Series. And we know that the next type of sentence is a compound sentence. A sentence that has two complete ideas in it. So, and they go together, and they are usually combined by a comma conjunction, a fanboy. We know the most common ones are comma and, comma but, comma so, and comma or. So this could be like, I had fun watching the World Series, comma, and the Astros won. Two ideas that go together in one compound sentence. Well, before Thanksgiving, we started talking about complex sentences, and we're going to keep studying these for the next couple weeks. We know that a complex sentence is a sentence that can't stand up by itself. You have one independent thought and then one dependent clause that isn't a sentence all by itself. It's going to need that independent thought to be a sentence. If we don't have the independent thought, then it's incomplete. So an example of that would be, after we had a picnic, my friends and I played a game. So the actual sentence is, my friends and I played a game, but the author wanted to add this dependent clause to give me a little bit more information. After we had a picnic. Now that information can either go at the beginning, the dependent clause at the beginning, or it can go at the end. Do you see the difference in punctuation though? If you choose to put it at the beginning, what do you need to have? Yeah, a comma. So if you put it at the end of the sentence in the predicate, where usually they will go, these dependent clauses will go, you just keep going. If you choose to put it at the beginning because you want to stress it, then you'll have the dependent clause at the beginning of the sentence. So you can either say, after we had a picnic, my friends and I played a game, or my friends and I played a game after we had a picnic. Now what's going to make this clause dependent is something called a subordinating conjunction. It's like our fanboys, but instead of just combining two sentences that can stand by themselves, adding one of these words is going to make your sentence dependent. It can't stand by itself. It doesn't pass the psst test. So in my example, where it says, after we had a picnic, if I said, psst, after we had a picnic, my listener should be going, what? What did you do after you had a picnic? Because it's not a complete idea. It's not a complete thought. When you add any of these words to the beginning of a complete thought, you make it incomplete. It's not independent anymore. This week, for your YouTube challenge, we're going to be reading You Give a Moose a Muffin, and it is full of complex sentences. I want you to be listening very carefully, because your YouTube challenge this week is going to be to do a crossword puzzle of some of the big ideas that's going on in the book for comprehension, but then you're also going to be doing your own little if you give a moose a muffin complex sentence. So be thinking as we go, okay? This is If You Give a Moose a Muffin by Laura Joff Numeroff. So here's the first dependent clause. It says, if you give a moose a muffin. My reader should be going, what? What happens if you give a moose a muffin? Because that's not complete. It needs the rest of the sentence. But look, she did put a comma, which shows me that she's going to be giving me more information. The complete, the independent thought is going to come next. So, if you give a moose a muffin, he'll want some jam to go with it. So you'll bring out some of your mother's homemade blackberry jam. When he's finished eating the muffin, there's another dependent clause. My reader's going, what? What happens when he's finished eating the muffin? Luckily, there's the comma and the complete sentence, the independent clause. He'll want another. And another. and another. Apparently moose eat lots of muffins. When they're all gone, he'll ask you to make more. So that's another one of my subordinating conjunctions, the when. If you put when in front of a complete thought, you make it into a dependent clause. It needs more information. When they're all gone, comma, he'll ask you to make some more. You'll have to go to the store to get some muffin mix. He'll want to go with you. When he opens the door and feels how chilly it is, he'll ask to borrow a sweater. It's another complex sentence. When he puts the sweater on, he'll notice one of the buttons is loose. He'll ask for a needle and thread. That's a simple sentence. It's just one thought. He'll ask for a needle and thread. Who's it about? He, and then what's my verb? Will ask. He'll start sewing. The button will remind him of the puppets his grandmother used to make. So, he'll ask for some old socks. He'll make sock puppets. Here's another complex sentence. When they're done, comma, he'll want to put on a puppet show. He'll need some cardboard and paints. Then he'll ask you to help make the scenery. Here's another complex sentence. When the scenery is finished, because that doesn't pass the psst test, does it? When the scenery is finished, what's going to happen? When the scenery is finished, comma, he'll get behind the couch, but his antlers will stick out. So he'll ask for something to cover them up. You'll bring him a sheet from your bed. When he sees the sheet, he'll remember he wants to be a ghost for Halloween. He'll try it on and shout, "Boo!" It'll scare him so much that he'll knock over the paints. So he'll use the sheets to clean up the mess. Then he'll ask for some soap to wash it out. He'll probably want to hang the sheet up to dry. He'll go outside to put the sheet on the clothesline. When he's out in the yard, he'll see your mother's blackberry bushes. Seeing the blackberries will remind him of her jam. He'll probably ask you for some. And chances are, if you give him the jam, he'll want some muffins to go with it. So, the subordinating conjunctions that we used in this book were if and when. When you're writing your complex sentence, you can use any of the subordinating conjunctions. After, although, as, when, while, until, before, because, if, and since. So be thinking, but you can use if and when if you want to. But be thinking about which complex sentence you would like to write. That is going to follow the book. That if you give a something, then what's going to happen. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys on Monday.